Is it Bucharest, not
Yeah.
so?
So my name is
Okay.
Bide Otepade, and I'm fully based in Bucharest, Romania. I have the opportunity to have a discussion with Dr. Charles Apoki, but from um, paternal side, and I'm going to be like his son, and I would be asking important question that would develop myself and men out there too. So stay tuned, and thank you very much for being with us today, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. So the first question to open the segment or the conversation would be, as a average man in your youthful days, what should be your fundamentals, regardless of where you are, who you are, as an average man in the modern world, what should be your fundamentals?
Number one, you should know that as a man, a lot of responsibilities are going to rest on you. You are going to be a father, you're going to be a husband, you're going to be like a priest in the household, and you're going to be a role model and then an influencer. You're likely to, you can become a king, become an employer of labor. So the first thing is to develop yourself. Develop yourself. You need to acquire education, because he who knows and knows who he is and knows what to do and what society needs and knows how to actualize the needs of society will eventually lead. Number two, acquire skills. Skills, productive skills, and then acquire social skills. Social intelligence, emotional intelligence, situational intelligence, financial intelligence. Acquire them quite early. If you take an average Igbo boy, he has a sense of money very early, business
Yeah,
entrepreneurial skills very early. He knows how to
sure,
interact with society very early. He develops independence very early. So
sure.
earlier, the Bible says, bear the yoke when you are young. So the earlier you start, the better. The next thing is to have a vision, a clear vision. It's from the age of 10, I knew I was going to be a medical doctor. At the age of 23, 24, I knew I was not going to practice medicine beyond 40. And at 40, I stopped. I knew I was not going to be a professor. I knew I was not going to be a specialist. So I chose to work in a general hospital. I resigned from the teaching hospital to a general hospital, and I knew I was going to go into general practice. So I started acquiring surgical skills very early. And so at the age of 29, when I had job options at 27, I chose where I could have surgical mentorship. So I worked in Royal Hospital, number 4, Bobo Road, and I acquired surgical skills, practiced there. And at 29, I opened my own practice. And as I was progressing, because I knew I was going to stop at 40, I started thinking of how to diversify. The next thing
So,
is to acquire, is to, hello?
yeah, I can hear you, sir.
The next thing is to acquire discipline. Discipline. Things like punctuality, integrity, and consistency. Acquire them. I was men's fellowship leader for the Church of God Mission in Imo and Abia states when I was about 29, 30, 31. And I was leading people much older than I was then, far, far richer than I was. But because I had developed leadership skills early, I was house captain at FGC Warri. So I developed skills quite early, leadership skills. Then the next thing is to look for a mentor. a mentor, somebody you admire, somebody you aspire to become like or be better than. A mentor will teach you number one methods. A mentor will teach you, will introduce you to men. A mentor will keep you in his memory. A mentor might bring money into your life. A mentor will create a mold for you to flow into. So these are the things you need as a young man. And then you must be very careful with women as a young man, because most young men eventually get distracted and ruined by women. That's why Joseph fled and left his coat behind. So, as I always say, don't let your erection give you direction. As I've
Very
always
true.
said,
Very true.
the woman must have to carry your vision. I told my wife at 19, she was 19, I was 21. I said, I want to marry somebody I will grow up with. I'm going to be a medical doctor, so you will read nursing. She said she wanted to be a teacher. I said, no, you will do nursing. So I wrote the application. She took to the School of Nursing. So she was the matron of our hospital. She always worked with me until we now came to do ministry, and I opened schools, and she's now doing her area of interest. So you must ask yourself,
Wow.
this woman, what is she bringing into my life? What is it copulation alone? No, those things don't last long. That's why the wife of Isaac was selected by an interview that she did not properly understand. Say the woman that I will say, give me water to drink, and she will say, let me water your camels too, will be the wife of my master. And Rebecca fetched water for 10 camels. Each camel drinks 30 gallons of water
Balance. Yeah.
times 4, that's 120 liters times 10, that's 1,200 liters for 10 camels. And so because Isaac had camels, they needed a wife that would love camels and be able to cater for camels. So you marry capacity. You intentionally marry. You intentionally date. You intentionally relate with people. That's why rich people send their children to expensive schools, so
Private
that when they
school.
fall in love, they don't fall far from wealth. They don't fall far from
That's the structure
excellence
of the
or
expected. Yeah.
position. You say
Yeah.
what?
I said so they don't fall out of the love of the structure of the
No,
family
no,
structure.
they don't fall out of it, because there is a principle. Now where it day, now it day. That is, it's always
Yeah.
where it is, and they
Yeah.
don't want to go to where it is not. So then you
Based.
must have a long-term view of life. Long-term
Okay.
view. Start seeing as far as your eyes can see is not a distance. If not, the vision of Abraham was limited. So as far as your eyes can see, it's a conception. Start having a long-term vision. Today, when I tell my wife the experiences I'm having, she will say, this is what you had always told me when we were younger. So I'd always wanted to be a global citizen. I'd always wanted to have a global family, have grandchildren all over the world. Yeah,
Wow.
I'd always wanted to go to work anytime I wanted to work. I told myself I didn't want to be compelled to work when I don't want to work. So that's those are some of the. I had a lot of dreams and I shared them with my wife, and they have come to be. So the desires of the righteous shall be granted. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. Jealously guard your heart; out of it spring the issues of life. As a man, so when think about these things, things that are honorable, pure, of good report. So then also see yourself as being responsible. Develop a sense of responsibility, in the sense that when I was at government college, Ughelli, we were told we were going to be the leaders of tomorrow. So I even had the aspiration of becoming the president of Nigeria
Yeah.
until reality dawned on me. But leadership role and the desire to be of a man of influence and affluence has always been in my mind. And then you must work hard, develop the capacity to work hard towards that kind of those goals you are setting.
Well, very well said, sir.